Welcome back to another Skyrim modding coverage. As always, we're going to keep the intro short so we can spotlight as many mods as we possibly can. There's been a lot of incredible releases lately, so let's dive in. From never-before-seen city expansions, previously thought impossible in-game frameworks that enables creative environmental traversal, parkour and diving maneuvers, to combat animations for both perspectives that turn Skyrim's outdated combat into something resembling a modern RPG. Let's begin. One of the most comforting settlements in the entire game that reminds us of the good old days of 2011 is Riverwood. One author has made this nostalgic place even better with a mod. Riverwood has walls with charming visuals and fortifications. The entire settlement will now progressively build new gates, watchtowers, covered bridges, and a palisade wall, all with a goal to deter new threats. As mentioned, these fortifications will be progressively built, and the effort of fortifying Riverwood as a settlement will commence upon completing the Dragon Rising questline, where Jarl Balgruuf officially dispatches his guards. Upon the guards' arrival, building will start with 3 stages of construction, with an end goal to encircle the entire village with fortifications, guards patrolling the walls, and being provided with actual barracks to reside in. The village's character has been enhanced with richer details and clever clutter placements to make it feel more like a settlement centered around lumber trade. The lumber mill has been connected with a new house for Hod and Girder, while its backyard has been filled with wells, chicken coos, and village bells, and there is also a carriage next to the lumber mill that villagers utilize for trade. The mod comes with a separate patching support by the community, ensuring compatibility with other mods that edit the same area. All of these changes and more have been achieved with a top-tier implementation and minimal performance impact. Next, we visit Solitude, the capital of Skyrim that has received one of the largest and most ambitious overhauls with a mod, Grand Solitude. If you thought Solitude was lacking in grandness and scale, this mod addresses that with attention to detail and very deliberate implementation. The new tower assets scrape the skies, gleaming with Solitude banners, standing shoulder to shoulder with a completely overhauled castle tower. Walking into its broader courtyard feels like you've just arrived somewhere important where soldiers train and nobles compete for wealth and influence. The towering architecture is more varied and numerous, giving this capital of Skyrim a true architectural weight, but at the same time, provides it with a meaningful and visually noticeable sense of scale. The market area has been drastically improved with a deliberate attention to detail, with new merchants, fishmongers, and spice sellers. Every market stall overflows with carefully placed wares and trinkets, going far beyond what I personally imagined possible from a city mod. The changes introduced to this commons district are more merchants, more variety in shops, and more daily hustle, citizens going about their business, browsing wares, and engaging in casual chatter. And let's not forget the city's entrance. It's been made to be almost unrecognizable, serving as a district before the gate, which offers services to travelers, such as blacksmithing and even a tavern. These side-to-side linear wipe shots correctly showcase how drastically different and improved this area truly is. As with other expansive projects, the Patching Council backs this overhaul with a full suite of patches that guarantees compatibility with other popular mods. If you're like me, you enjoy strategy-based games as well as hero collecting elements that some offer. This is why I was thrilled to try out Heroes of History, a game that combines the two, featuring famous historical characters like Tesla, Caesar, and Einstein. Build and evolve your civilization throughout all historical ages utilizing strategy, combat, and research. Collect rare heroes to create powerful battle lineups while engaging with competitive and co-op based gameplay. You can take advantage of the game's accessibility and start unlocking hero combos and building layouts to provide that long-term rags to riches progression that is fun, addictive, and not stressful. It's perfect if you love collecting, optimizing, and returning to your long-term progress on your own terms. Heroes of History is always brimming with events, with the first anniversary event coming right around the corner, with lots of activities and promotions of exclusive player-favorite heroes. Earn powerful exclusive 4-star and 5-star heroes from Amadeus Mozart to Thomas Jefferson, and unlock them by completing various tasks that grants you arcane antimatter, which lets you try your luck in the time portal. If your strategy skills are sharp and you're eager to summon your first hero, support the channel and Heroes of History by using my link in the description or scanning the QR code on the screen. Use the promo code 1YearStart to get 1 legendary antimatter, a pack of food, and scrolls for free. Big shout out to History of Heroes for sponsoring this video. Journeying off Tamriel's northern coast to the Ashen Isles of Solstheim, we first come upon Raven Rock, reimagined in stunning detail by JK. Anyone frequenting my mod showcases will be familiar with this mod author, who is responsible for one of the largest and longest running series of settlement improvement mods, and finally, Dragonborn DLC was next to receive his signature touch. This includes exterior changes, architectural additions, and visual density, more clutter, decorations, flora, new structures, and edits to the existing ones, all with a goal to make the place feel more lived in. As you walk across the docks, you will immediately notice the exterior enhancements that make the entire settlement layout more interesting, with places that were a bit bare and empty now filled with cleverly placed objects with an improved usage of space. Dunmer Tribunal Temple has been adorned with new decorations, mushroom flora and statues of Lady Azura and the Lord of Plots, Boethia. Market Square has also received more visual detail, new wares, stalls, barrels, and crates, all supported with NPC behavior improvements. Heading east along Solstheim's coast, we have the curious mushroom towers of Tel Mithrin, where we will also take a closer look at JK's reimagining of the settlement. As you can probably tell, the same principle applies: updated layout, more clutter, decorations, and furnishings. What I appreciate most about JK's signature overhauls is how they respect the game's lore, ensuring every change feels immersive and consistent with the game's world building. The aesthetic remains faithful to the Telvanni and Dunmer style: mushrooms, fungus architecture, and lots of alien and arcane weirdness. One of the aspects of the game I like modifying the most next to combat are NPC and player character behaviors, specifically their animations when sandboxing in places of refuge, like inns, taverns, and player homes. Doing this helps the world feel more alive and can boost the immersive element of the game between exploration and combat. Utilizing HSF Mail Furniture mod, we can add to the game's atmosphere and introduce more poses to NPCs, such as these dynamic wall-leaning idols. The mod also applies changes to sitting animations, which adds more character, brimming with confidence, self-importance, and even arrogance. Barstool animations haven't been overlooked, with reimagined sitting posture that completely overshadows the game's rigid vanilla animations. And speaking of barstools, did you ever want to get rid of this ridiculous and quite frankly vulgar looking barstool exiting animations that are apparently copied from the bench transitions? With a barstool exit animation fix, override these silly looking animations with something more grounded, logical, simple, yet realistic. Also, since I know that majority of my audience prefer playing female characters, and I can't imagine why that would be the case, on top you can apply Sonderbane's barstool exit animations and replace previously mentioned awkward shuffling for a more delicate animation with graceful movement. Now that we have separated barstool animations away from benches, let's go ahead and override these with improved table sit transition animations and give our characters something that is more sensible and practical. To add even more variety, I recently stumbled upon and recommend random male wall leaning animations. Same principle as the first mod, more variety, character, and assertion, all done utilizing OAR. Finally, I want to highlight Obscure Animations Overhaul, a mod that refreshes a wide range of variety NPC animations, some of which are rarely even noticed. As someone who puppeteers his NPCs for these showcases, I added this mod to my list without hesitation. These animations include finger pointing, praying, lock picking, clapping, and so on, and takes the stiff puppet-like movement that occasionally crops up and refines them into smoother, more natural transitions, all the while preserving the original spirit of the animations. Skyrim is known for its exploration elements, where visiting different locations and finding treasures are the core gameplay loop. However, certain aspects of the game have begun to show their limitations, most notably the traversal mechanics, which fall short in offering diverse approaches towards achieving one's objectives. One mod author has achieved a remarkable breakthrough in overcoming these limitations, bringing a fully realized diving system and parkour mechanics. Not only are these features supported by fluid, seamless animations, but they are also carefully integrated into the core gameplay. Fully utilize the features of sky parkour and perform climbing, vaulting, ledge grabbing, or stepping over low heights. Make use of its features in both perspectives, with mechanics tied to stamina and equipment load, all delivered smoothly and without the need to sheath weapons. Take advantage of a simple diving system, a modder's resource, and a framework that utilizes OAR to force detect water surfaces above the player and trigger diving-specific animations. It's a streamlined yet immersive way to enhance vertical exploration by allowing the player to perform natural diving actions. The mod employs a built-in detection system that utilizes OAR's conditions to determine which animations should play, based on players' proximity to the surface. This means different animations for different heights, all done with incredible implementation and zero changes to the base game. Combat animations are the key factor in shaping how the gameplay feels. Over time, we have explored a wide range of animation mods, a series which I will be continuing shortly, but in 2025, one mod author rises above the rest with combat animations inspired by the For Honor series, bringing them to Skyrim in remarkably creative ways. For Honor in Skyrim represents one of the most ambitious overhauls of the game's combat presentation in recent years. Drawing direct inspiration from the Ubisoft's For Honor series, the mod introduces a suite of meticulously crafted animations, unique for each vanilla weapon type, as well as some custom ones. Introducing varied attack patterns depending on a key input, For Honor in Skyrim also introduces a fully fledged stagger system. With proper button presses, this feature can be taken advantage of for our signature For Honor follow-up attacks. This establishes a gameplay loop that rewards precise timing and reactive inputs, resulting in a gameplay loop that feels exceptionally satisfying to experience. Animations take advantage of the MCO framework and perfectly complement my previously showcased combat setup.
Here, you should take a crossbow. Good for taking out those fiends before they get close.
I always make it a point to not overlook the first-person perspective, and in this segment, we'll be exploring even more Jellyfish's animations. Jellyfish Crossbow Animations is a mod that brings incredible levels of polish to ranged combat. The mod completely redefines how crossbows are handled in first-person view, replacing Skyrim's dated combat animations with fluid, weighty, and highly believable motions. What quickly makes this mod stand out from the rest is attention to mechanical authenticity. Aiming feels engaging, reloads feel weighty and deliberate, bolts feel tangible, bashing feels punchy and impactful, all done with smooth animation transitions. And how about even more dagger animations from the same author, but this time around for finisher kill moves? Bringing the player closer to the perspective of the assassin, the mod makes stealth kills more visceral and rewarding. Animations have been carefully choreographed to feel brutal and cinematic, something that we can find in the Dishonored series. Let's shift our focus to magic mods and spell additions, continuing the showcase of a single author's work within the VFX Edit series, projects dedicated to visually refining spell effects. Light Magic VFX Edit is another rework of a spell effect, but this time focused on Mage Light and Candlelight. Improvements have been done to color gradient and shading, with completely remade meshes and increased particle count. As always, very subtle and well-considered changes that overall improve magic visuals. The same author has recently published Wish Magic, prismatic-themed spell pack with an interesting take on utility and convenience. Cast Guiding Light, a spell that belongs to Alteration School of Magic, and without concentrating, illuminate the path to your current objective. Manifest a Magic Mirror spell, a vibrant summoned object that, when interacted with, opens the Show Race menu, allowing players to freely customize and adjust their character's appearance. Conjure an Enchanting Disc, creating a visually modified enchanting table and freely access all enchanting features as long as you possess the skill to cast it. Use the Transform Wish to silence bothersome NPCs, temporarily turning them into harmless creatures for a brief touch of comic relief. If you're in the market for something more serious, look no further than Ancient Death Magic, one of my favorite spell packs recently made. Summon Boneyard, a medium-sized area of effect spell that seeps the target's life force, slowing them in the process. Embody the mod's dark design with a Reaper Scythe, and use this spectral weapon to sap your victim's life force with sweeping strikes. Summon a spectral skeleton that hurls itself into combat, detonating in a powerful burst of AoE damage. Conjure ruinous armor to increase your armor rating while providing utility to your other combat abilities. Use Blighted Spike, deal disease damage, and regenerate magicka in the process. And bring these spells together to utterly overpower your enemies while maintaining a stylish display. I want to give a brief shout out to a good friend of the channel, Skyfall, for continuously making amazing mods that I frequently get early access to. One such mod was Fort Dongar Roofs, a simple yet visually coherent add-on that enhances the fortress's silhouette and strengthens its sense of realism. Anyone familiar with Skyfall's work knows that this lad can't resist his urge to fortify everything, and as a result, this mod was eventually created. Consider tracking his profile on Nexus, as there are some exciting projects he is working on that I know many will be excited about. But that's it. Consider subscribing if you enjoy these showcases. 100k subscriber goal does seem a bit unreachable at the moment, but who knows, maybe one day. Also, I want to let you guys know there's a Starfield review that I have coming up in about 2 weeks, and I'm afraid I don't have a lot of nice things to say about it, so if you're interested, stay tuned for that before going back to our regular modding showcases. But I'll cut the rambling there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.